Hey, Chad Galladay here, broker agent advisor. Pleased to have on with me today Don Pfaff with My State MLS and Nicholas McElmurray. Did I say that correct?
You did say that correct. Very
All
impressive.
right. Yeah. With My State MLS, great program, great service has been receiving a lot of attention in the industry lately. A lot of people are looking for alternatives. A lot of people are looking to add on to what they're doing. So that in mind, we thought we'd get with Dawn and Nick and bring them on and get some of the most common questions answered and help you guys out with getting some more business. Dawn,
Hi, how are you?
good, good. Glad to
All
have you
right.
here today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be here. I am Dawn Pfaff. I am the president, owner, and founder of My State MLS. Nationwide, multiple listing service. We have members in every state, and we are really the only MLS that lets you join anywhere you're licensed. You do not have to be a member of NAR. So there's huge differences between our MLS and your local MLS. And of course, as always, we are a no fine zone. So never any fines at My State MLS.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What can you tell me some of the things right off the bat? I know there's so much about your group and what's going on. When I first saw it, I'm like, and I've seen it a long time ago, but when I first saw it, I'm like, I didn't really know you guys really have a lot of history in the business. And my thing was, well, why can't somebody else create one of these? What if I invest my time and energy with my state MLS and something better comes up? What makes my state MLS a good long-term investment for me and not the money part of it, which isn't a big deal. You guys are very well priced, but in terms of investment and building a company and brand around your national MLS.
Well, My State MLS, we've been around a long time. We actually started in 2009 in New York State as New York State MLS. We own our own software. So we're also a software company, a tech company. We have feeds to all the major sites like Realtor.com and Zillow, Trulia Homes, 185, I think, I'm sorry, 125 different sites that we syndicate to, including 26 international websites in 26 different languages. We have members in every single state who can list wherever they're licensed, millions of listings in our database. And we have access to ProSearch, which has all of the listings for residential and land multifamily. So there's lots of reasons to use My State. We're far ahead of any competitor who hasn't even come up yet, which is beautiful. And we just have a lot of people use us right now. And we're really gaining in membership ever since all the big changes to the industry. People are just coming over in droves to My State MLS.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's just gonna go ahead, Nick.
you guys don't mind me piggybacking onto that. I love exactly what you said, Don. We are a technology company and an MLS. And a lot of agents don't really distinguish the two from each other, but most local MLSs or the real estate board associated to the MLSs, they're contracting with different tech vendors, right? So they'll have Flex MLS or Bridge MLS for their particular MLS software, and then they'll have all these other softwares. What's so unique and exciting, in my opinion, about My State MLS and why I'm honored to work for My State MLS is we are also the tech vendor. We are the MLS and we are the vendors within it. And because of that, to your question, why can't someone just pick up, just put all their time, hire a bunch of coders and try to create a competitor? This thing truly is 15 years of constantly refined and updated and improved technology that just, I mean, the platform itself, you really got to be in it to see it, but it is everything that an agent expects from their MLS, and we offer more as well.
Yeah, exactly. We keep adding features constantly. It does everything you need. So there's really no reason for us to really use third-party software. I mean, we use a little bit of third-party software for a couple of things, but everything else is just all done in-house.
Yeah, that's great. You mentioned the syndication, 125 different syndicates. That alone would take up as a pretty good barrier to entry for other companies to come, and not just in terms of talking about competing with you, but again, back to the real estate professional who's going to get on board with you. They want to get behind something they can stay with for a while and know that the next best thing's not going to come around the corner. So the syndication and the 125, is that a way to share their listings and automatically, or can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, they can share their listings automatically. But the best part about My State MLS, and a lot of the reason why people join My State MLS, is to get more buyer leads on their listings. So right now, a lot of our members, they do belong to their local MLS, but the way that our MLS works, we have an algorithm that just gets them 3 times the buyer leads on their listings over the local MLS, because of the way we have a built-in technology algorithm that delivers many more buyer leads to them on their own listing.
Okay, so the syndication, what does that mean? Syndicated with 125.
So syndication means when you enter your listing into My State MLS, you get to choose where you want your listing to go. So it's defaulted to on for most of the sites. You can turn them on and off. We have Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes, all the list hub sites. You can opt in and out of the different list hub sites through their syndication dashboard. We have List Globally, Brevitas, Crexi, all the Yardi commercial sites, commercial cafe, commercial search, all the big rental sites take a feed from us. We have international multi-language sites, Samaki, a Chinese language site, and it's a full, complete platform. If you want to list a property and you put your property in My State MLS, not only is it going to sell as effectively as if you put it into your local MLS, but you are going to receive many, many more buyer leads from your own listing, which is what all listing agents want. They want to make more money from their listings, and they do when they use My State. And that's why a lot of agents use it. It's really a moneymaker for them.
Yeah, that's the most important thing at the end of the day, right? We also have newer issues now and concerns with ownership of listings, control regulations. Who owns the listing once they put it onto you,
We
onto
don't take,
your
we do
platform?
not take the broker's copyright. The broker stays the owner of their listing. The person who uploaded that data, that's the owner of the data. That's a huge distinction between us and the local MLS. Many of the local MLSs went to a policy where they asked brokers to give up the copyright of their listings. And they did that so they could protect their listings. Protect from what? I don't know. They couldn't protect them from lawsuits, but they're going to protect their data, which they really, I don't know how they're going to do that, but what they really ended up doing was taking that data, and then they ended up making a company that sells the data. And then they're giving back pennies to the broker whose data it actually is. But what the broker has done by giving their copyright up to these local MLSs is they have put themselves in a precarious position with that copyright. Once they don't own the copyright to their data anymore, the MLS can do anything they want with it. But what's worse is if the MLS dissolves for some reason, like, I don't know, let's just say they get sued out of business over antitrust violations, and they have to declare bankruptcy, a judge could order that data and that entire database to be sold at auction. and the brokers couldn't do anything about it because they don't own the data anymore. They gave up the copyright. That's a big thing with us at My State MLS, is to protect the integrity of the copyright and the brokers who own that copyright.
Yeah, it's a big thing for everybody, especially more and more these days, the way things are going. So there's no boards to join or
No, no
you
boards.
can get a, you need a license. You need a real estate license. You can get on board, you can join. There's a lot to learn about the website, so we don't need to get too involved here, but the a lot of people might wonder why they should join this, who are also still part of NAR or part of NAR and do the listings that way and plan on doing that forever. Why should somebody use this service who's already receiving the services from their state, local, and National Association of Realtor listing platforms?
Yeah, it's not the same service, in that our service gets you more leads. You make more money when you use our service. So a lot of people use our service with their local MLS in conjunction, but when you use our algorithm, you do get more buyer leads from your listings. And then if you're a buyer's agent and you're kind of a newbie agent and you're just trying to kickstart your career, we allow you to do open listings, which is how a lot of agents in New York City get started. Because we came out of New York with New York State MLS, our agents always used open rental listings to start and kickstart their business. And we've taken that method of kickstarting your business nationwide in My State MLS by allowing that. We actually teach you how to do it. We have a whole bunch of videos which train you on how to kickstart your business if you're a brand new agent, and also how to enhance your business and make more money. And even if you get, I think we did the math, like if you get one more contract a year because you use My State MLS over your local MLS or in conjunction with your local MLS, it pays for your My State MLS membership for more than 10 years. We had a member do testing on our system, and she tested it with the open listings. And she was able, with open listings, she was able to sell a $3 million condo within the first 60 days of using the open listings platform and methods of advertising that we taught her. She made a $90,000 commission on that one deal. And then she was also able to use My State MLS to expand her territory and take listings outside of her local MLS. And she was able to make another $20,000 off of those deals. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good return. That was $110,000 in less than 3 months' time of a trial of her trying My State. Now, I think a lot of brokers would be thrilled to get that result.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so. I'm sure you have lots of those stories. Nick, you've been awful quiet, but the things we've talked about so far, fill in, share what we're missing. What do people need to know about how this works, how it's going to make them more money, how it's going to give them options, how it's going to give them control of their listings and the whole thing, because you guys are really checking a lot of boxes. It's not just, oh, this one narrowly defined service. It's really a lot into this, and the more you look at it, the more impressive it is.
Yeah, 100%. So we do offer the core services, a good chunk of the core services from your local MLS. To answer your very initial question, in the sense of syndication, being able to look, being able to do CMAs, all of those classic features that help an agent run their business, we offer. But to what Don was saying, we go above and beyond with the actually growing your business side, which is the most important part in this industry. So I just wanted to really fast make a note on open listings in case any viewer here is not from New York or they're in an area where that's not the term. What we're really talking about is non-exclusive listings and non-exclusive opportunities, right? So this is for an agent. Let's say a new high rise is being developed, a new condo high rise is being developed 2 streets away. That's condo high rise isn't going to just use one single agent to sell all of the properties, to sell 500 units at wholesale pricing. They're going to either one, try to wholesale it all, or two, select 5 to 10 real estate agents that they trust and that have seen the property. So that would be a non-exclusive listing in real estate, right? A listing agreement where multiple agents can be on the transaction. Local MLSs don't allow that at all.
No.
I mean, maybe there's one tiny one somewhere in the country. So I guess I shouldn't speak in certainty, but a vast majority, safely 90% of MLSs don't allow that.
Also
Right?
for sale by owners, also are taken as open listings, and rentals. Rentals, a lot of rentals are taken as open listings.
And
Well, that
another great addition to how good our syndication is, right? Not only will your property and your listing go out to more sites than a lot of local MLSs will send it to, but also you can leverage that on listing appointments, right? We are a tool, and if our members that use us properly do significantly better than their counterparts who aren't, and if they're using us to the best of their ability. So, for example, we're on a listing appointment. Chad, you're the home seller. You've had 3 agents talk to you and come by and try to pitch you why you should use them this week so far. I come in, I say, hey, Chad, listen, I know every agent you've talked to is going to go in, they're going to put it on the local MLS, they're going to give you yard signs, they're going to do all this. I'm going to do everything that they do, but then on top of it, I'm going to put your listing on the nationwide MLS so that anyone who's moving here can see it. Any foreign investors will see it, right? And use your membership with My State MLS to actually get more business. And our agents have a lot of success when they do that. So we are an MLS, but we're also just a growth opportunity.
Right, and we let you expand your territory. Many of the local MLSs do not allow you to list outside of the area. You have to go to the next MLS and you have to join it. And then if your whole brokerage doesn't join it or your broker doesn't join it, you can't join it. So you have to refer out the property. Meanwhile, it could be your mother's house, the house you grew up in, and you totally know the area and you want to be able to list it. You can do it in My State MLS. Also, if you're licensed in multi-states, there's so many people who live on state borders who have to be licensed in 2 states, yet they have to join multiple MLSs. But with My State MLS, you do not. You can just list wherever you're licensed. We have some people who are licensed in all 50 states. It's crazy. But there are a lot more growth opportunities using My State MLS than with your local MLS because there's too many constraints in your local.
Yeah,
right.
and the restraints. And Chad, this might be a question. So this might be a question you have. So we don't have to go too deep into it yet. One of the biggest things about My State MLS is we are by brokers and agents, for brokers and agents. We don't tell our members how to run their business so long as they're abiding by state law, right? We are not the Wild West. We're not going to allow you to get a listing and post it if you're not licensed in a state. We don't allow anything illegal. But with everything happening in the industry right now, there are a lot of changes that haven't been made into law yet
that may never be made into law, honestly, because there are 50 different states and all of them have their own unique license law. And because of that, we don't tell you that you have to do this, but not that. Whereas the NAR, they're making rules all the time. Your local MLS is making rules all the time. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Who are they to tell the licensee how to do business? That's how everybody ends up operating in the same manner. Whereas what we want is we want a healthy marketplace, an open marketplace where everybody can have their own unique business model. That's going to bring the most competition to the market, and that's going to lower prices for consumers and give better choices to consumers. And because of that, we really promote each broker to have their own business model. We are not going to tell you how to do it. That's not our job. That's not the job of the MLS to tell the licensee how to do business.
Well, it's kind of like what things would have been like a long time ago when real estate and technology first got started. You're a real estate agent. We want to support you. We want to provide value to you. We want to provide you a way to share your listings. We don't want to take that. We don't want to give it to everybody else. We don't want to keep hammering you, taking more. Uh, and then in a lot of ways, this is how it started, and then it grew to what it is today. And it's teach their own. But the beauty of it is you can use both. You can use all. This is one more way to market your listing. How much do you spend marketing your listings, and for what you guys charge to market all of them in one more way? It's really just a no brainer. Um, the pricing on here, you have individual, you have brokerage opportunities, you have some other different opportunities. Can you help the audience understand what's available to them and how much that costs at
Sure.
through your
So,
service?
it's super simple. The most expensive it gets is $45 a month for your membership. And it goes down from there. So, I mean, that's just our highest price point.
That's
If
not
you,
even worth talking about, really.
I
It's like,
know,
how
for
can you have
300,
a listing? That's
if
for
you want
100
to pay
listings.
yearly, you pay even less. You only pay $380 for the year if you want to pay yearly. And then if you have an office, you can get even cheaper pricing than all of that based on how many agents you have. So like we have group discounted pricing.
Yeah, it's the energy, it's the effort they put into them that is their investment. The cost is really nothing. So the energy, the time they put in trusting a company that's gonna um, help them to grow their business in different ways is something they're going to be able to enjoy on a regular basis. The more they put into it, the more they use, the more value it brings them. And it doesn't have to be, and it could be in addition to other things they're doing as well. So you guys really uh, are coming from all of the angles. Is there any reason why somebody wouldn't want to be in, or what are the most common? Are there any objections to why somebody
Yeah,
would?
yeah, I'll go over what people have objections to it. It's basically what they have an objection to is a misunderstanding of what My State MLS is. They think that My State MLS is going to replace their local MLS and have all the same listings as their local MLS and all the same tools as their local MLS, but then have all the listings everywhere. No, that is not what My State MLS is. In some markets, My State MLS actually is the MLS. That's where all the listings are. In the rural markets, in the land markets, manufactured home markets, and auction markets, we kind of have all of that data. But in the traditional resale markets, the people who use us are the most aggressive, competitive, they want to win brokers. And so those are the brokers that know and understand how to use My State MLS as a tool to make more money, not as a way to replace what they already have. And then there are people who use My State MLS there are the people who do use My State MLS to leave their local MLS, because right now there is dissatisfaction with their local MLS and the new rules and the fines. My State MLS was formed because I got a $150 fine from a local board of realtors back in before 2009. I started this in 2009. And I'd gotten $150 fine over a bill that they never mailed me, that I was willing to pay instantly when they told me it was due. And they were like, no, well, you still have to pay $150 fine to rejoin. And I'm like, but I never got your bill. And I paid my other bill because it mailed the MLS bill separate from the board bill. And I said, I'm willing to pay you right here and right now. Why would you charge me $150? Now, I know that that sounds crazy. The $150 meant absolutely nothing to me. What fueled the fire was the injustice and the way that they treated their customers and the attitude that they had. So I know not all MLSs are like that. Some MLSs are great. Some of the local MLSs, they really are good. And so I don't want to make it sound like they're all bad, but some of the policies of some of the local MLSs are what fueled the fire in me to build My State MLS. And now with the, I just happen to be lucky now because now with the policies of you have to sign a buyer broker agreement before every showing, or they're going to fine you thousands of dollars if you don't. We don't have that rule. I think it's a good practice to get a buyer broker agreement signed. I do, but I don't have the rule that makes you do it. And I don't have the fines that do it because, you know, it is not my place and it's not the MLS's place to tell you, the licensee, how to do business. And we're not going to do that. As long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not cheating anyone or, you know, lying, there's a whole bunch of rules that we have that are all just common sense rules where you have to be licensed in your state. You have to honor the commitments you make to your clients. You have to be honest with your clients and the other membership. But beyond that, we don't want to tell you how to do business. That's not our job.
Real fast. I just wanted to piggyback on Dawn's first point, because we have tens of thousands of members who do use us as their primary MLS and don't belong to any other MLS. The technology that one expects from an MLS, minus some like niche functions, it does exist within our platform. Here's what she was talking about is data, right? From the listing, you can look at the MLS from the listing agent's perspective or from the buyer's agent's perspective. From the listing agent's perspective, syndication, getting leads on their listings, right? The marketing, 100%, we cover everything that a local does. We also offer more syndication, right? From the buyer's perspective, when you log into an MLS, you're going in as a search portal. And this is specifically is the point of data that Dawn was talking about. Some people may think, oh, okay, well, it's the nationwide MLS. I can go in there and every single data point in the whole country is going to be there. Where, because they're thinking in their head, oh, I'm logging into, you know, Beaches, Global, Carmel's, you would enter name of local MLS here. And they log into there and then they see all the little properties that have been uploaded in the MLS. We don't necessarily communicate to all of those systems. We do have a workaround. We do use a third-party software that's only available through MLSs that allows you to see 99% of all property data, plus ownership history, plus a ton of information that's not just available on Zillow. So once people get trained on our platform, they see that we are an effective and complete replacement for a local MLS if they choose to utilize us that way. But if someone doesn't get our trainings, we have 2 trainings a week. We try to make our members feel as supported and knowledgeable on the product as possible. But if they don't go to those trainings, they could log in, be expecting something, be expecting to see data in the immediate system right in front of their face because they're used to how their local MLS presents. So I just wanted to really chime in and kind of piggyback off of that, because it's not that we can't replace their local MLS. It's that
They have to learn something new.
Yeah, and in certain markets, the data is not there. So the markets where we pretty much are the local MLS, it's going to feel just like logging into your local MLS. But in a market where we don't have all the data yet, then they're going to use the third-party tool, and we make it possible to replace their MLS entirely, but it's not as obvious that that's what we're doing.
Right, they have to learn how to do it. But in those markets where it hasn't replaced their local MLS yet, when you join in those markets, you really get the edge. I mean, really, honestly, the people who join in the markets where we're not the MLS, they have a huge advantage over the members who are sitting in the local MLS and following their rules and subjecting themselves to those fines. The agents that use us can do business the way they need to do business to serve their clients in the way that their state license allows them to do it. And that's really important. We don't hamstring our members. Our members, the people who join us, they join us to make more money, and the ones who are our members do make more money.
Now, the beautiful part of it is you're a replacement. You're work in conjunction with the resources. When somebody comes and puts their listings up with you, you're advertising and promoting that for them as what you're doing, either to other people in your network, other consumers, through your 125 other affiliates, through an IDX that they could use on their own website. If you're going to spend $45 a month to be able to do that for one listing to get all of them, there really is no other value that compares to it in terms of marketing a listing. So the pricing that you guys have is great, and we're trying to add on to that to give our readers some incentives. So we have a link set up so that when people sign up through it, they get your service and they get some other benefits from us. They're going to get there's the free referral directory listing through our audience, and they're going to get a code and some other information on 50% off any upgraded listings or different things they might do with us separately. None of that's required, but we want to get them to your website so that they can get going. They can go one of two ways. They can go to mystate.mls/brag, BRAG, or you can go through our website, brokeragentadvisor.com/MyStateMLS. And there's some incentives, some very valuable ones. We're doing everything we can to give all we can to our audience. So another thing, Dawn, you mentioned about this fine and that, and I totally get it. I mean, those are the types of things that change the world in a lot of ways you guys have from that. So a little more maybe about your experience and who you are. People are going to be doing business with My State MLS with you and Nick. The program and technology and all of that stuff's secondary. It's you guys who they're going to be putting their trust in and their time and their energy and some of them even building a new future with. A little bit more about you briefly, Dawn, if you could, and Nick.
I'm a real estate appraiser first, then a broker. More than 21 years as a broker already, and 24 years as an appraiser, which I can't believe it's been that long. I'm also a real estate developer. I owned a mobile home park, which is why you can list mobile homes on My State MLS, because you couldn't list them anywhere else. And I have been a speaker. I'm an instructor of license law in New York State. So I've taught classes. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in real estate for the long haul. But just before I was in real estate, I don't know if people know a little bit about me. I started off as a disc jockey, local radio station in upstate New York, and on-air personality, and a news, and I ran the newsroom as well. And then after that, but before becoming an appraiser, I know I don't look that old, but I worked for a startup tech company. And I used to build computers just as a hobby. And I worked for a startup tech company. We were PayPal before PayPal. We actually had the patents for the things that became something like Apple Pay. For this company, I was like the 7th employee. I learned how to start a tech company. I learned what it was all about. They had venture capital financing for the company. and I learned how to do the marketing for it and all of that. So that's where I got the background to start this tech company. And so now I've been in this since 2009. We've been doing it for a long time. We have both New York State MLS, My State MLS, and we also run the MLS in the Hamptons, the exclusive multiple listing service for the Hamptons, there in Long Island. And I'm just dedicated. This was a mission for me from day one. It's still a mission for me. And so I'm just dedicated to making this happen, giving this industry what it needs. And I mean everything I say. I'm very passionate about it. I believe in it very much.
Well, I know, and I've talked to you a little bit before, and that's why we're here talking today to share that with some of the other people. That's what makes the difference. That's what you and Nick have, and your team has gotten the company to, and it's really just getting started in a lot of ways. Nick, a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely there's a level of passion that the owner and founder, I mean, Dawn has been on this journey longer than I have. But I joined her on the journey because I see the same end picture. I see the same vision and sharing the excitement of the company and wanting to be a disruptor in this industry that is, decades old in terms of how it was set up and established organization. A little bit about myself. I've been in the real estate industry for 10 years. I, went to UC, started an MBA at Stanford. Before this, I ran a marketing firm where I handled 20 plus different clients at any given time with the team, with the marketing staff. And I've worked for some big Fortune 500 companies, State Farm. I've been doing digital marketing for a long time, and I've niched in real estate because I've always thought that it was an industry that could really use a kick in the butt technology wise. I taught myself coding, HTML and CSS when I was 20. So I've been doing that for a little bit. But yeah, always looking to learn and grow. I do feel pretty experienced, and I'm super excited to be working with My State MLS. I think we're a great
You're doing a lot of the marketing and stuff too, and you're doing a great job. I mean, you're a big reason that we're talking today, right? So this is just the beginning. There's lots of other relationships to make. There's lots of other avenues to continue promoting. My State MLS really is just getting started in a lot of ways, and that's another important factor people are going to want to know when they spend their time and energy. The money is nothing. What you guys are asking for is just for sure easily doable. And that also says something about yourself as well. When you're the only other option, not the only, but when you're the next biggest option out there, you're looking to serve people. You're looking to provide value and grow off that. And it's working. So I've been glad to have you guys today for sure.
Yeah, no, just on that last point, and maybe we'll have to cut this. So we'll see. We'll see if Don is okay with me saying this. But you could see our competitors as other MLSs, or you could see us as the only company that's willing to give an alternative to NAR, the largest trade organization in the industry that has run and dictated the rules and lobbied, had lobbyists. I mean, that's one of their biggest pros that they will suggest as a company. We watch
You
your
get a
interest.
little strength from that when you say, hey, there is something else I can do. I don't need to leave NAR. I don't need to, but this is something else. This is a way to market, promote my listings that is going to bring value by itself. And it gives me a little comfort. And if the rest of the world goes to heck, well, here we are starting over with My State MLS. So there's really a lot of advantages. Really, like great pro. That's why we're talking. We can work with anybody we choose to. We're very selective on who we work with, and you guys are a big reason for that. Dawn, Nicholas, it's your company's great, and that's a good reason in and of itself. But you guys are what makes the difference, and why we're proud to be associated that and with that. And again, mystatemls.com/BRAG to get those incentives that we have waiting for you, or brokerageandadvisor.com, our website, /MyState
And you're gonna put
MLS.
that link in the chat too, I'm sure. So people can probably click on the link.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere, but we're really just getting the value, getting them there. We've got some great stuff, and we're going to continue doing and giving more uh, along the way, and hopefully this is just the start for us. Anything before we go,
No,
Dawn?
I think you've covered it. I'm really happy that we've started this conversation with you and your following and your audience. And I look forward to answering any questions they have. So if they have questions and they want to know anything, I'm sure they can comment on this video, or they can always send us a direct email to office@mystatemls.com and just ask any question that you have, and I'll see if we can answer it. But like
Yeah,
Nick said,
you're in the group. You're in our Facebook group now, and we'll be posting this there.
oh,
And
sure.
we'll ask, people will hear this, and if they have anything to ask. But I think you guys did a great
Absolutely.
job
They can
covering
send me a
everything.
private message. I answer everybody who asks me anything. I think some people are surprised, like, oh, Dawn's actually answering me. No, I want to know my members. I want to know they're my customers, but a lot of them have become my friends over this whole journey. So I really appreciate anybody who, wants to learn more.
Yeah, it's funny. I can attest to that strongly because she'll be on a phone call with a brand new agent telling them how to do their business that she just has never heard of. It's just like, oh, yeah, I have a really good broker friend. A really good broker friend who has a new agent that they're really excited about. And I'll say, Don, you have a whole staff, like decent sized staff that could have this conversation. But she's just such a friendly person and really loves our customers to a level where like the MBA side of me is like, you have employees to love those customers. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
it's you and her staff that gives her the freedom to do that. So,
Yeah.
and then she's able to learn from that to help you guys stay busy. So it
It's
works.
true. It's true, but I've always felt that way. I always feel like our members are people who have joined me on the journey, on the mission. It was a mission.
Well,
Everyone
there's a
came
lot
along
more.
with me. I'm holding your hand. I didn't do this alone, you know?
There's a lot more of them out there that are going to be excited to meet and know you guys, and really looking forward to continuing this relationship and continuing to make a difference in people's lives through both of our programs. So we've got some great programs that match up well with your.
Yeah, it's
uh,
a good synergies. There's good synergies here for sure.
yeah. All right, we'll let you guys get back at it. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you, and look forward to the Facebook post of this thing once we get it ready.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you for having us. Everyone, if you have not yet applied to broker agent advisors higher level tiers, it's super valuable.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you. Yeah, they could just go to our website and get that started. Brokerageandadvisor.com or there's a tab there, for qualify. They would just go there to get started, and while they're getting set up with you, we'll get the process going, because everything through us is earned, and we charge for very few things. You can go to the top in our program without spending a dime on anything if you want to. But if they get that process going, then when they're getting worked in with you, we'll bring it all together. You'll hear from one of us after you sign up with My State MLS about the next steps with brokerage and advisor.com as well. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Very much.